Okay, now we set up this main drop here. Let's focus a bit on the part behind the drop now. So if I close the drums group and I have the instruments group closed at the moment, let's zoom in. So we have a bit of an overview here. The break is here, and here's our main drop. And now I'm taking off a couple of kicks here in the end. Let's quickly take a look at the bass here. So we go I want to put in a bit of a surprise here, just this tiny one-time element that you're looking forward to when listening to the track. We're always playing D sharp, and it's still looped, and I want to insert a note here at the end. So I'm undragging that so we don't affect the bass behind and before it. And what I want to add in is A sharp. And here. Well, shorter. Exactly. And bring it down. Okay, so there's that. And now I also want to add something in the white noise area here. So I'm copying some of those MIDIs here, and let's quickly add them here. Actually, we can drag this as a long note. There's no automation so far. So let's go to bar 147 and just go one early. And maybe go to position. Which one? Let's go to 4.3 here. So put it here. And I want to automate the utility here. I just want to have this little bit playing, and then I want to take it off again. So select this area, bring it down here. We can even shorten it here. No need to play this longer for now. And then you can even bring it down here. So let's well, maybe a bit more. Could be a bit more aggressive. Maybe we add in another note. Yeah, it's louder with 2. So if I zoom out. Yeah, and also add in another effect. One of those reverse effects would be fitting here. So for example, a clap FX. Let's look for that one quickly. There it is. How about we have this impact, and what else is there? Yeah, this one. I'm looking for this one. So we're taking this effect here, and like FX005, and we take this one in front of bar 147, because here is where the drop is happening. Let's put in the locator and just call it something like DP DM2, drop main 2. Well, I don't want to have this thing stop here, so let's just take it like this. And fades, show the fades and fade it up. See that again? Well, let's take down the gain in the sample a little bit, like this more or less, like -5. Yeah, we also need to take this tonal effect somewhere else. We don't really need it here. So I'm just putting it in the back. And now I'd like to add something into our clap pattern, and that is in this 6th bar. So this clap will be played overall until the 7th bar. And over there we stop the kick and the claps. And also this thing, we want to like introduce this little surprise thing here in the 6th bar of the clap. So let's go in there and let's go to 1.3 and basically we just drop another sound here. Maybe we can undo this and drag it even longer. Now let's do this to all these sounds. Yeah, well, that was, let's pick it up like this and drag it down and pick it up again and drag it down. So all these are showing this now. Okay, that's nice. And I actually want to consolidate it like that. So, well, let's consolidate each of them to keep the names, and Command J does the job as well. So if we scroll down, we also start playing our main step again at 147. So I'm copying this one here and placing the main step in there as well. So we go. And let's take a bit less delay. So I'm turning down the ping pong delay a little bit, -13. And now at 155, we also want to play this tonal effect from here again. So I'm taking this one from 129, I'm just copying that one, but shorter, just until the end, and turn the gain automation around like this. And also go into the sample, into the MIDI, and go down to A3. And then we take it down again. So we just want to like put it up here and then close the sound. Okay, now see, we also want to put in more effects up here. And let's go back to our effects from the start, like those we had around here, taking FX Sound 1, the reverse effect, and I'm taking this early effect and I'm taking the reverse clap. Where's that one? Here. So let's take those three guys. I have them here. So 20, 19, and 18. And I'm taking those guys and I kind of want to place them here. So we can introduce our next part here. Let's take this sound, put it here, and let's take this reversed clap and probably put it in front of the last clap here. So something like this. Let's listen in. Okay, so I'm taking the locator longer here. So we have right, so we take another round of the kicks and the claps from here on, and also this side chain and this tom and this perk ref, of course, as well. This tom actually belongs here. So we get this thing. Now we also need our bass again and the click of the bass. And we also want to play this wood. So let's make another marker here because we're off a bit off the grid. So I'm calling this 3 now. So I want to actually take this wood from here and just put it here. So we also had this other reverse clap here, and let's take this effect and put it in here and put it right in front of this fourth thing here. Just take a part of it. So let's take something like a short part out of it, something like this. Just put it in here with the faders. Nice. Now also, like, this is very random. You can do whatever you want here with all those samples. I'm just taking this zzz and I want to put it in here as well. So we have that. Now we also had this impact. So let's look for the impact and take it from there. Place it here as well. And now we also have this clap FX. And I'm copying this one here. Let's put it at 158.3. There we go. Okay, so quickly close the drums group and go down to the instruments. So we have this part playing here and we expect the next thing to happen at 163. So 8 bars later, and let's call this 4. So we have time until here to do stuff. And this is a good space for the MIDI pipe sound here. So let's sort of put that in here. we can actually go in here and put this down to D sharp. And also we are bringing back the pad sounds, the background pad sounds. So actually we are taking those from the beginning here. So let's bring them in here. Yeah, and let's bring one of those tonal effects in here, down here as well. So for example, this one, let's bring this up in here. So 161 and open it up like something like this. Oh yeah, the problem now could be that we are not starting with the MIDI. So there's a bit confusing. So we should take those from here. This better. All right, and we always need to go down with our automations after reaching the next drop. So this is what I'm doing here with the frequency of the auto filter selected here. And now we also need to take a look at the utility because we want to gradually increase that sound here and then take it down. I can take a bit more. Yeah, you kind of want to avoid those bad transitions, so be sure we are before the line. Also, we are introducing our arpeggio sound again. So this one from the beginning, I'm dragging that in here as well. Let's check for all that stuff now. Well, you know what? We're doing it slightly different. We're starting the pad from here, and we're also starting the arpeggio from here. And the tonal effect starts for 171. So in here, we all move it a bit back just to be sure we still have a lot of room for all that stuff. So let's only start hi-hats here in the drums. Take those open hi-hats, for example, and place them in here. And we're starting with those at 154. And prepare playing more hi-hats from 163 on. So I'm also taking those perks and loops from here, but let me just, let's take those here and let's take all this stuff, and we can always delete things. So let's take all these and drag them over here. And we can already start a loop, for example, at 155 at number 3 here. And another kick here, and more sidechain and more claps. And let's scroll down and play more bass. You don't really need to stop the bass. So now we are missing the clap pattern here. So I'm copying that one and I'm placing it behind this one. And from here on, we are going to play everything. So I'm copying the claps and I'm copying those claps down here to the clap mind. So we are putting that in as well. I'm also dragging those kicks and sidechains longer. And of course more bass. Maybe we'll cut some parts in this turn over here. Add a locator, call it 5. We're basically building up this thing again here. And if I quickly close the drums group and we take a look at our other elements down here, the pad is going to play along here. And then we will play the full chord again afterwards from 0.5 on, like this. And from here on we also will play this arpeggio again. So like this. And we also play those midis again. So I'm picking up more of these guys, placing them in front here. And the tonal effect moves backwards. And the MIDI pipe also gets played out here in location 5. If we zoom out a little bit, let's actually put it here. So let's play it. Well, we're going to play all the stuff again. So I'm dragging this longer. We have our next locator here at 179. And the next one afterwards is at 87. So put that in here. Just quickly copy all the drums group and sidechain like this. And we sort of stop to play this main step after we are starting to play our arpeggio again fully. And we actually want to play this a bit later here. And now we can also put in our stab sounds again. We had these stabs playing here. I'm picking them up at the start of a MIDI and copy that one right here. Let's take off this tonal effect again here. Okay, so there's still a bit of arrangement work to do, but we're kind of getting closer to the layout we are looking for here. We have reached minute 6 now, and this track overall with outro is going to last like 1 minute longer, but then we're just going to fade out stuff. So what we have here is an intro, then we are building up after our first drop. Then we have a full song playing here around drop 5. And then we enter our main part here, and then we fall into our main drop, and from then we are building back up. And I just try to lay out what is going to happen more or less afterwards. We have still a bit of work left with those tiny transitions, but basically we can create them with all these little elements we have floating around here. and they surely are enough to make that sound interesting. Also, we will work a bit more with these effects on our master down here to put in those wavy kind of up filterings and a bit more reverb and stuff like that. So we get in this wavy kind of feel between 8 and 16 bars. In this step, we added in a lot of parts here behind the main drop and try to lay out this back arrangement here. Well, let's move to the next step.